Happy Friday.
Oh, happy Friday.
The last day of school around here, so kind of a big deal.
It is. We got one more week to go. One more week.
We are, well, actually, I don't even know about the kids' school. Usually they have like a preschool graduation, but I think we just kind of canceled all that stuff. So, but Ryan's 8th graders are graduating today. So that's why we're early. They're doing like a live graduation Zoom call, I guess.
That's really cute. I feel bad for all the kids who are graduating. Hold on one second. Let me just close this door.
Yeah, for the kids who are graduating, something that they'll remember. Like preschool graduation is what?
Right.
Just for the parents, right? You'll never.
Yes, for sure.
I couldn't.
Though I cried ridiculous tears when Eloise had her preschool graduation. It was so cute.
You did? Yeah.
Well, they came and brought us a rose, and they're in caps, and it's so silly, but it's so cute. Oh my gosh, this puppy. Leave it.
Yeah. I'm putting these veggies in the oven. These actually don't really have anything to do with what we're cooking. This is literally my kids' dinner.
Oh, well, that sounds nice.
I just figured I'm going
to
be here. I'm going to get started. Okay, I'm putting that in. Great. So I am going to show you how to make gravlax.
Okay.
Have you ever made gravlax?
Have I ever made them? No.
Yeah.
It seems intimidating.
So it's so easy and it's really, really good. And it's like smoked salmon, but without the smoked taste.
Okay.
So
you're just curing it, basically.
You're curing it. Yeah. So smoking salmon is a pain in the butt. Like unless you have a smoker or whatever, like you don't want to do it in your house, it's going to get all smoky. And you can buy delicious smoked salmon. You can buy gravlax too, but it's so easy to make and it tastes so much better at home. And you can use it in any of the ways that you would use smoked salmon. So
okay.
I used to make it a lot for catering events, especially when we were looking for a way to like beef up a breakfast or something like that to, have a big spread. We used to make it a lot. You can get a whole side of salmon, cure the whole thing, serves like 40 people, or you can do one little teeny tiny fillet of salmon too. So I'm also going to turn this into, originally I was working on this recipe for an ebook cookbook that I'm going to put together for some people who want to download it. And I needed to take a photo of it. So the idea is to do recipes that take 10 minutes to cook from start to finish. So the cookbook version will have you just buying smoked salmon or gravlax or whatever. But to take the photo of it, since I can't just go out to the store, I ordered it from my delivery service. They didn't deliver it. But I happen to have salmon, fresh salmon. So I thought,
there you go.
I'm going to roast some asparagus.
So handy. Looks beautiful. I love asparagus.
So does Ramona. So it's one of her favorite vegetables. Nice. So I can get her easily to eat it, but she won't eat the tops.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like opposite the broccoli preference, where she'll only eat the florets, but not the stems.
That's what I was just thinking.
On the asparagus, she'll only eat the stems, but not the tops.
I like the tops. I am very consistent in my vegetable loving. I like the tops of asparagus more than the bottoms of asparagus.
So one of the weirdest, I actually just cut these all on autopilot without even thinking about it. One of the weirdest, I don't know, food things.
When you see me bending down, it's because I'm feeding my dog who is staying in his bed. And so I'm trying to reinforce the good behavior. So when you see me do that, that's what I'm doing. We're in full puppy training mode over here because he could be a psychopath.
Oh,
turns out pug puppies are some of the most energetic puppies.
A 2-pound psychopath.
Who knew? They're so lazy as adults.
4 pounds or 2 pounds? 1 pound.
How much does he weigh now?
A pound?
Over 6 pounds now.
Oh, 6 pounds. Okay. I've never seen him in person, so he's so tiny looking. So one of the weirdest myths that people do with asparagus is they do this thing to like bend it, and then wherever it always snaps off like way too much. This piece I took off about 2 inches on the bottom. Here's let me show you a good one.
Hi, Poppy. Glad to have you back here, Poppy.
So this was the end over here. You can see, can you?
Yeah, I can see.
See how it's like kind of white and then up here it's greener. And if you just kind of stick your fingernail into it, you can actually see where it gets tender. And then you can kind of just line them all up and lop off the bottoms.
I have to say, that's usually what I do is I just line them up and lop off.
Yeah, but you could probably do a little bit less than you've been traditionally.
So you're probably right.
And these guys are definitely a food waste challenge. So depending on how you define food waste, this is technically preventable food waste. Like you could use this for another purpose, but if you try to make a soup out of these or something, it's just really never going to taste that great. So your best bet for this is if you wanted to make an asparagus or vegetable soup or something, you could blanch these in water, but only for like 5 or 10 minutes, just to kind of amp up the flavor a little bit. But if you go too far and make like a real vegetable, like if you put them in a real vegetable stock, you're going to boil it for like 30 or 40 minutes. And this will make it taste really bitter and not good at all. So I do not put these in my veggie stock.
Okay. Good to know.
Throw them away. So I kind of consider this like when I talk about reducing food waste, I'm trying to get people to stop throwing away like the tops of the asparagus because you bought them on Sunday and thought you were going to cook dinner, but then you just never had a plan. So then you throw away the whole edible part of it. That's the food waste that I'm trying to stop because like, why would you do that? Right. But people do it all the time because of a lack of plan or you just change your mind, whatever. So if you are cooking your asparagus and throwing away the very tough and not delicious tasting ends, to me, that's just like a byproduct of food and it's kind of different from food waste. But different food waste people would feel differently about that. So that's my spiel.
Patty says that Bobby sees watching from the pool in Matt's office, which I got to say, Matt, very sad to not have that kind of outdoor workspace in this situation. Oh, we have someone from the Philippines watching.
Oh, they one-upped your pool.
Hi.
Right?
I wish I could pronounce the first name.
I bet the view in the Philippines is nicer than by the pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm going to do even parts salt and sugar. So gravlax is cured salmon. It's like Nordic. Equal parts salt and sugar.
Equal parts salt and sugar. Okay.
The classic flavoring is dill, which I actually happen to have.
Yeah, I've had a hard time finding dill for a long time. Stuff is showing back up again, but dill was one of those that I had a hard time finding.
If you don't have dill, if you don't use dill, if you don't like dill, I really like this with cilantro too. You could also just do it with parsley, and you could also just leave the herbs out. If it's summertime, you could do it with basil, would be really nice too. That would put like a nice taste into the salmon also. Okay, so we're gonna mix that in, and then we just need enough citrus to moisten that up and make like a paste. So I have my old school but best ever squeezer here. Doesn't this just make you want a margarita?
Looks like a torture device is what that looks like.
Ready?
Yeah, let's do the juggling. Any opportunity, let's do it.
All right, now I'm nervous because people are watching.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, how's that for some citrus juggling?
How's that Facebook Live for content, right? Okay.
I mean, where else do people go when they want to see lemons and limes juggled?
If it's Friday afternoon and you're sitting around and you're like, I wish I could just see somebody juggle right now. What are you going to do about it? Can't get a ticket to the circus. What are you going to do, you know?
No.
Okay. This thing is amazing. It's seriously, I'm not a gadgety person. So I don't really like a lot of things sitting on my counter taking up space. But this thing is absolutely worth the footprint that it takes up. I've also increased my margarita consumption since it came to my house.
Yeah, I mean, seems obvious.
So what I usually do, because it is like by the time you get it out, to just squeeze one lime or one lemon is kind of a waste. So I usually do a bunch if I have them sitting around, and I just do it into this mason jar. And then this will last in the fridge for up to 7 days. So I've used you know, you can use it in vinaigrettes or marinades or whatever else you're making. But by the time you're going to squeeze one, you know, might as well have a bit. So we're just going to stir this in here. I should give you a recipe, but it doesn't really matter. You just want to like a kind of a paste.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, it's pretty juicy. I could have even done a little bit less. A little bit less would have been okay. Then we have our salmon and a little container. So if you have a big, I opened this yesterday to do half of it. If you have a big piece, you can actually just do it right in the container like this if it goes all the way to the edges, but you need enough paste to like fully pack around it. So when I'm doing one small piece, I actually like to do it in a bag just because you don't need to use as much of the cure to fit around it then. Separately, this is a beautiful piece of
looks lovely.
Salmon. Salmon has a season. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Salmon is seasonal, and starting in the like Northern California and starting to go up to Washington, it is coming into season now. Oh, okay. So it's funny, whenever I cook for my clients this time of year, they all will start writing me to say, wow, the salmon was extra delicious this week. I'm like, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything different. It's just like the salmon literally tastes better right now. It gets thicker, and it's like the good combination of like melty, fattier. It doesn't have a fishy taste. If you're afraid of that, if Poppy's still watching, this is when you want to eat it. It's really, really good. Okay. And it'll stay in season. It depends a little bit, but I think like at least through September.
Okay.
Okay. So then I'm just going to pour this into here. If you were doing it in the container, you can just, you know, pack it around it. I'm going to get all the air out, and that's that.
Oh, great. Looks great.
Now, one other thing, I'm still going to do it in this container, but you can see I just was able to use so much less. I'm going to put it face down in case the bag leaks, or if you aren't using a bag. And then we need a very like medium weight. So I have these two dishes. I don't know, this probably weighs 1.5 pounds.
Okay.
And I'm just going to put that on the back of it. And then
why do you weight?
A little bit of a weight because it helps kind of compact the whole thing. It just helps make the fish firmer and compact into the cure, but not too heavy, right? So it's not messing up the fish. You want something that's kind of flat and even, just a little bit of a weight on it. And then you're going to put this in the back of your fridge for like 36 hours. So a little more than over.
That's a lot for me when I can go to the store and buy lox.
But it tastes so good.
So
I get that you need to wait 36 hours, but once you cure it, it lasts in the fridge for like easily a week. So it's not like you have to plan it out and then immediately eat it. Like you can just do it in advance and be like, oh, now we're a house that has lox in it. So it doesn't have to be a big deal. And I've been talking and doing this slowly, but like that was really easy to do, right? So
it was really easy to do.
I get that you don't get results immediately.
No, for me, it's honestly the storage space in the fridge.
Oh, okay.
Like to hold up that much space in my fridge in a thing like that for 36 hours. I don't have a huge fridge, and then
you don't just have a regular fridge? I don't have a huge fridge either.
I have food in my fridge. I don't know what to tell you. I don't.
We need some fridge content here. I need a tour of the fridge. But look, okay. So now this is the one, TV, the magic of TV.
Okay.
How come I can't get this camera right ever? So you can see it got really juicy in the bottom now. And then the actual pieces of salmon are kind of like firmer. So I'm going to move it over here. But it still looks really bright, but it's thinner. And it's just kind of got like this firm texture to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is it. Okay. So you can just kind of like dust off. And then after this, you can just store this in a Tupperware. You can dust off the dill, or if you have any like bits of salt
Okay.
on it like that.
You don't rinse it. You don't rinse it.
You can rinse it. I don't rinse it. The salty, sugary taste is super delicious, I think. And just kind of patting it off a little bit, it doesn't really pick it up. And then to cut it, you kind of just go like in the width of the fillet. And then to do it traditionally, like you'd have it served for breakfast, you just kind of cut it as thinly as you can on a little bit of an angle. And then you kept the skin on it. So that was important. You do want to get a piece that has skin on it. I'm sure you could do it without, but the skin does kind of help hold it together and it helps you slice it. So then after you slice off a few pieces, now this, like I've taken the angle off the top there. So slice it down, your knife will hit the skin. And then as it hits the skin like that, you kind of just roll your knife and then slice it off the side.
Okay. Looks lovely. Delish. I would eat it. Apparently, it's going to take a lot for Poppy to jump on the salmon train.
I know. She doesn't like salmon. And she spends a lot of time living in Seattle, too. It's so good.
Crazy.
It's like, it's just subtle. It's subtle. That's the word. Unlike smoked salmon, where you kind of get the smoke, which I like, too, because then it makes you think of, like, bacon or something like that. But it just has a really subtle taste. Okay. I'm just going to say I'm going to eat this now. No. Okay. So I'm going to slice a little bit more. So what I'm going to make out of this is like a flatbread pizzetta kind of thing. So you could make dough. Have you made sourdough? Are you on the sourdough?
I am not on the sourdough. My whole thing with the sourdough, I would like to do it. Again, we're noticing a pattern here. I don't like the whole idea of having this stored in my fridge overnight and wait all that time when I can just make a loaf of bread. And like Mary Jo sent me that recipe for the no-knead bread, and it makes a loaf of bread, and it's not sourdough, but it's crusty and warm and delicious, and you can make that in a friggin' few hours.
Yep. That's is that Mark Bittman's recipe or New York Times?
I saw his though. This was one that she had found that she'd been using for years that she really liked when the whole thing started. She's, my go-to baking person. So she sent it to me and it was really simple and it was good, So it hasn't motivated me to do all the steps. And sourdough just seems intimidating, like with having to feature starter and do all that. It just...
Yeah, to be honest, I've never really been looked into it. I'm not like a big bread baker at all, so I've never done it. But then you have like the discard, and you can make things with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so my salmon is sliced. I'm gonna move that aside. You see my delicious pile?
I see the delicious.
So like on a bagel, ooh, that would be delicious. Okay. Taking this out. So I originally wanted to get like focaccia or something to do this like on top of that, but I'm actually going to do it like a flatbread on top of these lavash things.
Okay. I was going to ask if you were going to make your dough.
So if I was going to make pizza dough and really wanted to like go all out, I love making pizza dough, but it's also one of those things that's time consuming, and like I like to do it when I have space and it's a fun project, not when I feel pressure to get dinner on the table. Like it used to be so fun when we had pizza parties where we have all the dough.
I was thinking for one of these Fridays, like your pizza is so famous, you should do, I say so famous in that like everybody who knows you for a long time has had your amazing pizza.
I know.
But I feel like you
it's so long. I've kind of reverted. So I used to do it, like on the pizza stone with the peel and everybody can make their toppings. And I really love that like super hot oven, Neapolitan style pizza. It's fun to make. You get to, play the dough and everybody makes their toppings and they go in and out of the oven and they cook really quickly. But I feel like with the kids, like they would eat that type of pizza and they would love it, but they can't come in the kitchen. They're not big enough to, stay away from the hot oven door. They're not old enough to be able to eat on a very...
I've done it with Eloise. I buy my dough. Trader Joe's does the dough. Like you can buy in the refrigerated section. So I take the easy way out and buy the refrigerated dough. I roll it out. And then I've let E, who happens to be watching, hi Eloise, make her pizza, like pepperoni or whatever. She does it up. We do it in the oven. I actually did it on the grill for the first time like a year ago. And it worked really well. I did the pizza stone though on the grill, which I don't know if you're supposed to, but I put the pizza stone on the grill and did it that way. And it got really hot and it cooked super fast. It worked out well, but
cool.
It's definitely more of a mess. And I think because I don't have another little one around to worry about.
I feel like the only benefit of doing the pizza stone on the grill is just that you're not using the oven in your house and it gets really, really hot, like hotter than some in-home ovens get. If you do grilled pizza without the pizza stone and you do it right on the grill, then I feel like you're getting the actual benefit of bothering to cook it on the grill because you get grill marks and it's kind of a novelty kind of thing.
I did it because we were just outside hanging out. It was just kind of more of a thing to do outside. And I was super nervous about putting it on the grill just because it was dough and I was worried and I just like panicked and like, I don't know about this. So I'm just going to use my pizza stone because it's what I know.
It seems really weird. It is totally like a leap of faith when you have to get dough and you put it on the grill.
Very nervous.
You put it on and you leave it there and it does like really, because the way the grill works, the grates are hotter than the space in between the grates. So it really like caramelizes it and you leave it on there for a little while and then it's amazing and you pick it up. I've literally never seen the dough actually stick if your grill is hot and you leave it there long enough until you can pick it up. If you try to pick it up right away, like if you throw it down on the grill and then you're like, oh, I wish it was a different shape and you try to move it, if you leave it for a few minutes, it always pops up. And every time it's like a relief and a surprise, but it's really cool. And it is kind of fun to do.
Okay. Maybe this weekend we'll have to try. Oh, but Trader Joe's is like such a crazy line to get to right now. Like you have to wait to get in. So I haven't gone to Trader Joe's in like months.
This is definitely kind of different. So if you told me you were inviting me over for pizza and then you gave me this,
you'd be upset.
No,
you would not be having it.
Reconsider the next time you invited me over. I would be a little worried. But if you told me you were making a pizza-ish flatbread thing and served me this, I would be very excited. So
okay.
It's all
I love flatbread, so this is great.
Yeah, and you could do endless toppings. So I'm going to do a little bit. I have some arugula, a little vinaigrette that I made before.
Patty chimed in with a tip. She says she's done pizza straight on the grill. It goes fast, but she oils the crust and puts the oil side down for a few minutes, then flips it over and then puts toppings on.
Perfect. Yeah, I actually think I did it last summer with Patty. Oh, great. All right, so I've got arugula. I've got cream cheese. I've got some cucumbers. So this is for the classic like smoked salmon taste one.
Yeah.
I've got red onions just to further gross out our main viewer here, who also does not like raw onions.
This is definitely not a poppy flatbread meal.
But my kids won't eat this either. So Ramona will eat the salmon. She really likes that. They love those like seaweed snacks. So she had the salmon the other day and was amazed that it tasted just like the seaweed. So for them, I'm going to do, I don't have any canned tomatoes in the house, actually. Remind me when we're done to go order canned tomatoes. So I'm going to do one for them that's a little more like classic pizza, but without the tomatoes. So that's what, when we started, I put some cauliflower and mushrooms in the oven to roast. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of mozzarella on theirs.
Yeah.
Because they'll eat that if it's more pizza like.
So you're going to have this for dinner later. How would you reheat this?
Yeah, I am going to have this for dinner later because
you're not going to cook again.
To cooking again later.
But my question is, how would you reheat this for them?
So the salmon one, I'm actually not really going to reheat. I'm just going to serve that cold. And then for the pizza one, I'll show you when I take it out of the oven. I'll take it out a little bit sooner than I normally would. And then I'll just pop it in the oven again later. Okay. Or I might even just put it in the toaster oven for them.
Yeah, so, what do they know?
I wanted to toast up the lavash a little bit.
That looks lovely.
Get it a little bit crisp. These are really thick lavash. Sometimes they're really, really thin and they get like cracker crisp. And it's really good. Okay, so for the one for the kids, I'm going to do mozzarella. So I did olive oil and I did a little bit of garlic powder. I went through this phase where I thought garlic powder was for like people who don't know how to cook. And I was very snobby about garlic powder for some reason. Like any worthy chef will chop fresh garlic and use it always. And then I took over, this was maybe 3 years ago. I took over cooking for a client from another chef friend who like needed to take a break for a little while. And she gave me all these recipes that the family loved. And she was cooking all these vegetables with garlic powder on them. So I had this huge thing of garlic powder and I realized how easy and delicious it is. And I have completely backtracked. So I'm sorry if I offended anyone in the past with my snobbiness about using garlic powder. But it's just fast and easy and really good. And it's kind of got like a more
garlic and garlic powder in recipes.
Yeah.
Because it gives like a different kind of
a different taste.
Yeah.
You know, anything you're cooking like a soup or anything like that, I'll go for full garlic. But anything like this where you kind of just want like that garlic bread flavor, I think it gives you that nostalgic garlic bread flavor, like a little bit better, a little bit easier. Okay, I'm going to take this one off because this is going to be my cold one now.
Okay.
And for this one, I've got these. So because I used to do this with pizza too, because I'm not putting this back in the oven long enough, I wanted to make sure the vegetables were roasted through. Because if you just put them on raw, this goes for any type of pizza you're making. For the most part,
just mushrooms and cauliflower.
This is mushrooms and cauliflower, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Patty says garlic powder's been impossible to find around during the pandemic.
Interesting.
I know, it's funny to see what's hard to find in places.
I have not had any trouble finding it.
I've had no garlic powder issues either.
This combination is inspired by vegetables I always have in my refrigerator because both kids will accept these vegetables without complaint.
Eloise will not. She's not on the mushroom train. She doesn't like mushrooms. She claims not to like mushrooms, more like it. Cauliflower, she's a fan of, though.
That's what they say. So this kind of melted. I'm going to put this back in the oven for a minute. So that's a simple one. You know, for that one, maybe if you're serving it to grownups, you want to put the salad on top of it, a pile of arugula or something. But I was writing about and talking to a lot of parents recently just about like how to get your kids to eat, or more importantly, how not to have to make like 4 different dinners, but with kind of the same ingredients. So if you make one like that, that's really simple and that's what your kids will eat, like that's a win, right? It's an honor what you put on it. For the grown-up one, I'm going to put some cream cheese on here. This, you could, back in the day when we used to like have people over for brunch or book club, like this would be great for that.
Like, right now.
It's got all those morning flavors, right? You're used to it for that. So I'm just going to spread this out.
Looks really good.
Yeah, it's going to be delicious. Why do I always do these cooking videos? Why do we do it right at lunchtime, but like a little too early, so I haven't eaten lunch by the time we film
I know,
it?
me too.
By the time I'm making this. This has happened literally every time so far.
You need some capers. Do you have any capers over there? Nice.
So I'm going to do my red onions. Another awesome trick, because I have all the ingredients, I'm going to do this for you too. I bet. Okay. Jar leftover red onions. This is seriously the easiest thing everybody should be making. Red onions, thinly sliced, salt, squeezed juice. You know what that is?
Pickled.
Yep. In, you can see they're just regular red onion color. In maybe 20 minutes, these are going to be hot pink, like fully pickled red onions. It was that easy. And this will last in the fridge for like 2 months. Tastes amazing on top of everything.
Yeah.
My favorite. All right. We're just going to layer this on. So I have some cucumbers. Put some cucumbers on here. Just pile it up. So good. Oh, asparagus. So like I said, I was testing this for my dinner recipe collection. So to me, in order to have dinner that I like feel like is a full dinner that feels healthy and satisfying and good to eat, I have to have some kind of more vegetable than this. So that's why I did the asparagus. I forgot. So cucumbers won't fully do it for me. I feel like it's not enough. So asparagus, you could either just do it like dramatically over the top, like that, and then when you cut it,
pretty.
Or we can slice them. What do you think? Slice?
I go slice.
So I'm just going to cut them on a bias. I already roasted these because I'm not putting this one back in the oven. So even if I eat this later and it's cold, I don't personally mind the asparagus cold. I think it still tastes good.
Yeah. I feel like asparagus is one of those vegetables that's great cold.
If you had some lemon, you could do more lemon zest on top of here. Cool. You could even just serve these on the side. What was it? Oh, capers, right?
Yeah. I love capers.
Me too. Who is it? I've been cooking for a family and they don't like capers.
Oh, wow.
I
What's not to love about a pickled, salty little bit of good?
You know what it is?
What?
It's
what is it? It's a berry, right?
It's a bud of a flower.
Oh. That's a delightful little bud.
Okay.
Nice.
That's it, right?
That is gorgeous.
Oh, let me get the other one.
Patty wants to know if she could substitute something for the salmon.
I mean, I think you could turn it into like a tuna melt one, right? If you just had like tuna you could do over the top, you could do a white bean spread on the bottom with tuna, olives, some tomato. I don't think Patty likes that either, but you could do, you could do pulled pork, you could do barbecue shredded chicken and add some like grilled corn shaved off the cob with bits of broccoli and herbs or whatever on top.
Oh, no red onion. Patty hates the onion, I forgot.
I feel like where my graphic designers at, I feel like I need an infographic, right? So you basically just pick a base. Do you want to use like a lavash? Do you want to use, you could use pita, you could use focaccia, you could actually make your own pizza dough and you could grill it, but then not put anything on top of it. Next, you need some sort of creamy, delicious spread. So for the kids, I just used mozzarella, like really classic. I didn't even put anything else. You could use bechamel. You could use like a mustard and honey yogurt kind of spread. You could use hummus. You could do a white bean spread. And then on top of that, you need a protein. So whether that's smoked fish, you could use.
Or it could be veggies. You could do a veggie one.
You could do, like, if you weren't going to have meat, I would want personally like garbanzo beans, or I would do the spread that's like a white bean or a hummus spread so that you get that, filling bite from there. So rather than doing like cheese and then keep it all vegetarian, I just like look for places to put in something filling, protein based. So you can add that in a whole bunch of different ways. You could do this with really thin slices of sweet potato and layer that on the bottom. And then whatever your toppings are would go on over there. So I think you could do this in endless ways. And then, so for the kids one, you can see really plain. Yeah. Even, what would be even really pretty on this, if you were serving this to grownups, is like a dollop of pesto or some kind of herb oil or something sprinkled over the top. I think definitely for at least even an appetizer or a side dish or something, that would be plenty and super good. So, and then the gravlax, you know, I have this extra piece. So yeah. I would just keep this airtight, and that'll be good in your fridge for easily a week because it's cured. So it's meant to last. I get finicky about it after that. It's actually not the cure that starts to go bad, but kind of the juices and stuff around it. I just think it tastes best in the first couple days for sure. Yeah. And ideally, don't slice it before you're going to eat it.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
So, yeah. So I leave it and then kind of slice it to order. It just builds up the texture and the integrity of it a little bit more. The fewer places you cut into it, the fewer opportunities you introduce for anything to kind of contaminate it too. Like every time you put the knife through it, you've like put that foreign object through it. So it's not going to last as long.
Okay. Good to know.
That is my tip.
Awesome.
So, happy graduation to everyone.
Yes.
If you're graduating.
Yes. Tell Ryan happy graduation day.
I know. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend. Yep. All of these things, all of the above.
All right, my friend.
All right. Well, I will see you next week. Same place, different time. 12 o'clock next week.
You're cooking. I'm going to sit on my butt and watch.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for joining, everybody.